Ready to unlock your team's full potential? AIM HR Solutions, rooted in the heart of Massachusetts, brings you tailored coaching and talent development services designed to elevate your business. With our personalized approach, you're not just investing in HR services, you're investing in the growth of yourself and your team. Discover the power of personalized coaching at AIM HR Solutions. Head to aimhrsolutions.com to learn more and start your journey toward success today. Welcome to Human Solutions, simplifying HR for people who love HR. From AIM HR Solutions on True Story FM, I'm Pete Wright, and this week we're talking all about human resources in manufacturing. We're talking trends, we're talking recruitment, we're talking workplace peace and vocational training and benefits, and we're joined by two very special guests to help us do just that. Our own Terry Cook brings her extensive manufacturing background to bear with every helpline call she answers, and Lucille Ward, a seasoned HR pro from Package Steel Systems, has played a crucial role in developing innovative HR strategies that not only meet the competitive demands of the manufacturing industry, but also foster a nurturing and productive work environment. Together, they're going to help me get the Human Solutions fake manufacturing plant's HR house in order and hopefully give you some new ideas too. Terry, Lucille, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
Well, I'm so glad to have you here and to talk about, I've been talking about my fake manufacturing HR plant, manufacturing plant for years now, and I clearly don't know what I'm doing. The place is in complete disarray, so I'm glad you're here to help straighten it out. Give me a sense, Lucille. I'm going to have you go first. I want you to kick off this discussion by telling us a little bit about Package Steel and what you do, your role there, because in our pre-show chat, you do a lot. And I want to make sure people listening understand what goes into the role for you.
Oh, well, my role here is HR manager, as well as all the accounting down to the general ledger, making sure there's coffee in the kitchen, toilet paper in the bathroom, dish and cook, bottle washer, you name it. We have about 45 employees, and I try very hard to keep everybody happy.
I'm sure like HR people listening are like, okay, you got HR, maybe accounting, bottle washer's a lock. I'll bet people relate to that.
Yeah. In fact, somebody put over, and you can edit this out if you want, over the sink, because I was complaining about all the dishes in the sink all the time, and somebody put a sign up, witches don't do dishes.
Gosh.
Don't do dishes.
My goodness.
So it's still there for 10 years, hanging over the sink. It's a lovely little memory. So then I threw out all the silverware and they can't use it anymore.
Well, I'm sure Terry relates. Like part of a seasoned team is the passive aggressive hand-drawn signs, don't you
Correct.
think?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. They spend more time thinking about that than they might some other pieces of their job.
Yes,
Correct.
their job for sure.
So I really do appreciate the artwork and the sensitivity that goes into all that.
It brings humor to your life.
Yes, exactly.
Sure. That's a good thing. We need humor every day.
So I'll turn to you, Terry. Why are we here? We wanted to talk about, trends in HR in the manufacturing sector. Set us up for why we're sitting together today.
Sure. Thanks, Pete. So the trends in manufacturing, we hear a lot about lost skill. Manufacturing has a lot of skill-based positions in the workplace. You have your machinists, you have your welders, you have all of your, electricians, you have plumbers, you could have any number of things in your maintenance. A lot of those skill sets are not as focused on in the labor market anymore as far as people gaining those skills. So what's happening is, as these very experienced people in our workplace start leaving the company from retirement or what have you, they're having trouble finding those replacements, trying to find those skills to stay in the workplace and keep the company moving. So really looking at all of those things and trying to find out, after COVID, where we had people that want to be hybrid and remote, how we attract them back into the workplace overall for those in-person workplaces like manufacturing, and also to make sure we have the right skills in place.
Okay, Lucille, boots on the ground. Let's start with recruitment. What are you dealing with right now?
Lack of skill, having people come in that are very unskilled due to the changes in the Voc schools. We spoke about that. I'm very involved in the Blackstone Valley Chamber, and they had set up a hub for all the students that um, didn't get into Voc school. They're creating skills for them through welding, robotics, Mac 1. I work with Mass Hire, for retraining. We just do a lot of good things, and we are really pounding the pavement trying to find the people out there to bring them into work, to give them some skills, because really we're in the Blackstone Valley, you know, really picking at straws here. And, people are walking through the door wanting $20 an hour for nothing, for no skills.
I want to back you up a little bit. You said there were changes to the Voc schools. What are you referring to there? What has changed?
Well, our Voc school in our valley has come more of a prep school. So a lot of the students that should be there, the C and D students, are getting passed up to the A students. The Voc schools are taking A students and moving them on to college. We always used to do a lot of work with the Voc schools, interns or job sharing, but we don't do that anymore because we don't want to train them and then they go off to college.
So the burden of training, how much of the burden of training you're talking about working with other, associations and chambers to set up, facilities for trying to figure out how to give potential employees these skills? How much of that burden falls on you directly? At what point do you say, we're just hiring people and we're going to try and train them?
No, I would say, we have worked with Worcester Voc in their nightlife. We've worked with the Blackstone Valley Chamber. I would say like 40% of that goes into training, the initial training, and then the guys might go back, the supervisors, to tighten things up a bit or give them some real world training, like let's say welding. When they're in a school welding, they're only learning how to weld in one place. So they go back and teach them, you're up, you're down, you're all around. You have to come out of your little cubicle, your welding cubicle. They teach them how to read a ruler, a tape measure, how to read blueprints. These are all important aspects of the job.
Lucille, how much time do you think it would take? And I know every position is different. How much time do you think it does take to get somebody up to speed in those skilled positions you're looking for?
Oh, at least 3 to 6 months, depending on what background the person has. You
Hmm,
know,
that makes
um,
sense.
even for
That seems like that's an intense burden for you to take on as an L&D effort.
correct. Even we just hired a yard man 3 months ago, and you're talking about putting things, beams onto a forklift, unloading trucks, loading trucks, and he finally loaded his first truck today with no problem after 90 days.
Incidentally, apropos of nothing, how is this been a trend you've seen sort of longer term than the pandemic? I'm interested to see, like, you've been doing this a long time.
Correct, correct. Ever since, I mean, the pandemic for us, we worked right through the pandemic. And we gave incentives for people to come in during the pandemic, extra
Yeah.
pay and whatnot. But I would say, since it all started really with for us, our Voc school changing its policy. And I think, and I could be wrong, I don't know the whole education system, but ever since the advent of MCAS that they have in Massachusetts, which is a teaching frame for all schools. So everybody, all school districts are on the same level of teaching, the way they teach. So the poor and the rich get taught the same communities, right?
Hmm.
Um, and so the more kids you had passing the MCAS and the highest scores, the more money the schools got from the state. I could be wrong, but I think that's why the Voc schools went that way. Because, we'll take the A students, they'll pass the MCAS, we'll get more funding. blah, 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 blah,
Everybody's
blah.
in a budget crisis.
Right.
Everybody's in a budget
Everybody's in a
crisis.
bunch. So I do know, like, 2 years ago, the local school, their test scores and everything dropped, and everybody's like, "What's happening with the school?" Well, the Voc school took 20% of the A students. So what is going to happen? I would love to know the statistics of how many kids go through Voc and then go to college and graduate college.
Mm,
Um, and also, like, I had a gentleman come in with a Voc student plumbing, and I said, "Oh, great, you got a plumbing job. You work in the summer. It'll be great." "Oh no, I'm going to Brown for finance." Then why
Wow.
did you go to 4 years of plumbing? But
mm,
this is like the trend. And
yeah.
I just don't know what to make of it.
And I think that there's what I've been reading too, Lucille, and I don't know if you have as well, is that some people are feeling almost pushed in society to not focus as much on the vocational
Hmm.
skills, and they're said, everybody needs to go to college, where
Correct.
they
Yeah.
were feeling like that was a requirement. And so I think that could certainly be part of it too, which is where we've seen recently the paper ceiling information out there, and just trying to make sure that we are, kind of acknowledging the skill sets that are needed, but also acknowledging people that can gain a lot of these skills without having to go to a college to gain them. They can go to a vocational school, or they can work their way to that experience level.
I think it's very interesting that to hear you both talk about this way, because the other side of this narrative is that a 4-year degree is less valuable today than it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, because they're so much more expensive. And so we're
Mhm.
starting to see this argument bubble up. And I'll speak quite personally as a parent of college age kids. We're seeing a lot of information coming home saying, look, consider these VOTEC schools, consider plumbing, electrical, construction, consider these
Good.
things,
Yeah.
because the value is a lot higher
Hmm.
in terms of what you have to put in to start making a living early. And institutions of higher education, 4-year degrees, are really struggling for recruitment in a
Mm.
lot of areas, not all areas, but in a lot of areas. So I wonder, is that trend, like, when do those things meet? When will you start reaping the rewards of some of these kind of pop culture narratives?
I think the pendulum is starting to swing the other way, with the tuition going up tremendously, the compounding of the interest rates, and parents knowing if their child gets a skill, they'll be more employable than somebody with a 4-year degree. I saw online, I read the other day, and I don't know if I agree with it or not, but the biggest scam is I'm 200, $300,000 in debt for a $30,000 a year job.
Yes.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We've got the news is coming out, this year, as kids are starting to, accept their degrees, that there are schools for the 2024-25 school year that will cost students
Yes.
$100,000
Yep.
per year.
Correct.
That's an extraordinary lift. And
Correct.
I think, the hope is, to your point, Lucille, that is $100,000 a year pendulum that's coming your way.
Correct.
And to
Oh,
these kids, right? To the kids, to the teams who can earn great livings at doing these jobs that are sorely needed. Yes?
correct. And they're getting, like, the manufacturing jobs are getting cleaner. You've got robotics, you've got engineering, you have all these wonderful new machinery out there in the manufacturing plant that you need to learn how to work it, the skill, but it's not as dangerous, it's not as dirty, it's a cleaner environment.
Sure.
Yeah.
So in the spirit of optimism, in the spirit of silver linings, what does work for you for recruitment? In terms of getting the right people who decide to stick around.
Well, we use Worcester Folk Nightlife a lot. We have very good luck with them. We are doing a senior scoop, it's called. It's through the Blackstone Valley Hub, and we'll be at Polar Park in Worcester, which is the farm team of the Boston Red Sox. And we have 300 schools that come through on a rotational basis, and they come with their resumes, they come dressed nicely. And these are kids that are not going to college, that are looking for jobs this summer, whether it's out in the plant, whether it's in the office doing AutoCAD, whether it's a receptionist that we'll send to school to, for accounting 101 or HR 101. So that's how we recruit through that avenue. And if we do find someone in the office and they have no college background, we'll send them to seminars on HR. We'll send them to accounting classes at night. We will educate them. Like right now, we have one of our welders in the back who has been here for about 10 years, went to Worcester Voc for welding. In our industry, we need a certified welding inspector, a CWI. We have one right now. And a CWI is the hardest test you're ever going to take in your life for welding. It's a welding inspector. And it's 8 days of schooling from 8 in the morning to 8 at night. You have to fly somewhere. You have to take this tremendous test. It's open book, but it's still a big test. And it's a deep range of topics regarding welding and safety and inspections of the welds. And it's probably costs like $5 or $6 grand, but for our certification process, we need a CWI, and we only have one now. Well, this employee, we put all this money into him to become a CWI and hope that he stays, because he can go off and make a lot of money once he gets his CWI. But we, want to do that for our employees. We want to educate them and, send them off, like I said, to whatever seminars, whatever nightlife courses or online courses they want to take. We're very open to all that.
Lucille, you shared a story before with me about somebody that you happened to, I think, work with somebody on my team to hire a receptionist, but you had like this unique approach to determining which person you selected and how you decided to develop that person. So I don't know if you can share a little bit about that.
Oh, yes. We hire on soft skills. Because all our software in-house is proprietary, so we have to train them anyway. And so we hired this person, and she had no office skills whatsoever, but we knew that we could train her. She was a math major, and we hired her about 1.5 years ago as a receptionist, and we promoted her. We sent her to school for some more schooling, and we promoted her to the quality manager. And she has her own office now, and she's salary management. And then we hired another replacement receptionist through AIM again on the soft skills, and she's working out really well as well. So even for like our detailing department, our engineering department, we have detailers, AutoCAD, draftsmen. It takes 3 years to train them because we have our own metal building software. So of course, they have to have really good math skills in that department, and they have to have AutoCAD or SolidWorks. And then we'll take them and we'll train them in our software in hopes that they stay. So every department's a little different.
How much time do you spend thinking about culture?
Well, I don't have a lot of time to think about it, but if I had to,
Well, I don't want to make you do something you don't want to do.
Yeah. No, I don't mean it like that. I just mean, so every day I come in, I'm putting out fires, this,
Yes.
that,
Mhm.
whatever. Like right now, I have all at the same time, 401k, time card, and payroll platforms I'm changing. Every day in April, I went home and cried every night. So,
Well, Lucille,
We don't want you
Oh
to
my
cry.
God.
I know I didn't really cry, but it was. I'm coming out of the other end of it. It's getting
Sure.
better, and
So
nobody
you're
likes.
thinking about culture now.
I'm thinking about culture now. Oh, I
Well,
don't know.
I mean, this is the deal. Like, we spend a lot of time talking about culture, and culture in from an HR context, it seems like your practical reality is that culture is the set of kind of emergent behaviors that come
Right.
up without you taking a lot of initiative because of all of the bags you carry around every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious, when you look at the struggles that you're having, getting people, keeping people, training people, keeping people over the long term, how much of that do you feel like, you're just getting lucky because people like sticking around there? And
50%.
50%. You answered so fast.
I
Tell me more
know.
about that.
Well, I just feel like, no, I always am talking to the new hires. Are you happy? Do you want to do this? Would you like to do that? And I'm trying to supervise this. You have to talk to your people. You have to see where their mindset is at. You don't want to come in one day and say, oh, I'm leaving, got another offer, bye. And that's a surprise to you. That's the office. The plant is a whole different ball game out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tried to not go out there anymore. I tried to make the supervisors do their job. And it's tough out there. It's tough. You have a lot of people out there, young people, and then you have the old school, and they, we try to make everybody happy, but never the twain shall meet, if that's the saying I want to say.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
potentially a leading one.
Yeah. So
Culture on the floor is very different from culture in the office. I'll bet.
correct. So we don't micromanage. We're pretty easygoing. We let people do what they need to do from start to finish in the office. And everybody does their job. I mean, everybody does their job out in the plant, but if only we could get them to come in on time and not call in sick so much. How
Mhm.
about that?
Mm-hmm.
How about
I'll
that?
give you a little story. So I just have this new time clock software. So there's all these rules in the software, behind the software, and the rules come from our handbook, right? So one rule is you have to be here 8 hours before and 8 hours the day after a holiday. You have to work the day before and the 8 hours.
Mhm.
So when I came in on Monday, Patriots Day, we had off. Well, like 10 people weren't getting holiday pay. I'm like, oh gosh, what is going on here? Well, it's our handbook rule that we never really followed, because the plant employees come in 10 minutes late every day, 15 minutes late every day. They leave 5 minutes early. Well, guess what? They didn't work 8 hours the day before and the day
To the
after.
minute.
To the minute.
Oh, no.
So that's the rule, right? That's
Yeah.
the rule. So then I had to dumb it down and change it to 7 hours. Now, how sad is that?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's rough.
That's rough, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
I
You
don't
can't get
want
things started on time if everybody's not there, right?
right. And then you have the the other people are here on time all the time in the plant. They're always late. What the heck? Why? They're not getting paid. They're late, but they don't see it that way, and I totally understand that. But so I had to change that to 7 hours.
Oh, wow.
So I
Yeah.
know.
That's talk about like the reverse impact of culture
Right.
on systems.
Yeah, and I don't think you have to keep bad employees, whether they're productive or not, because I feel like we write people up, but we're never going to fire them because we can't really find someone quickly to
Yeah.
replace them. We use a lot of relatives, like we hire someone. Oh, do you have a cousin or a brother that might be looking for a job? Oh, yes, and we'll do that out on the plant floor. Hire word by word of mouth. Or we're looking for some people. I hired 2 people that were my yoga students' boyfriends.
Anywhere you can find them.
Anywhere I can find them. Yeah.
Well,
So
this is the interesting thing to me, and I think, Terry, your comments are invaluable here. I mean, when you look at what Lucille is dealing with, this idea of like merging cultures between the old seasoned people and the new kids who are coming in, like that, the struggle of maintaining cohesion
Yes.
around systems as big as running the big machines to as little as clocking in on time
Correct.
is extraordinary.
And in the office, we don't have any of those problems. We have young employees and we have seasoned employees, and we all really appreciate everybody's experience. Like, I will go, oh my God, why isn't my phone working? Or why? And I'll call one of the young ones over and they fix it. It's beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it, and I love all the knowledge they have, even though they can't write out an envelope or a check, but I love all their knowledge. They can address an envelope.
Well, this is great, Lucille. I think that gets to
Terry's like, oh my God, I'm
I know. Yeah, tell me more about millennials writing out envelopes. I want you to reflect just a little bit. I mean, you have been doing this a long time. Why are you still doing it? What do you love about it?
Oh, I love my company and I love the owners. They're super nice. It's 3 miles away from my house.
Practical love.
That's
a real practical love.
Yes. Love the pay. Love the benefits. And it's just so nice. Everybody here is very, very nice. And Bob Facette, who owns the company, is a super nice guy, and his wife Paula. Shout out to them. And yeah, I just really love it. And I will be, 66 and 10 months is when my retirement is. If I retire, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know I could probably fill my day up in a New York minute, but I don't know.
Well, you could come back and podcast with us anytime you want. Yeah,
I could.
We
could do a yoga podcast. Mindfulness during work, taking a breath, unclenching that chin, take the tongue off the roof of your mouth, roll those shoulders back.
Terry, I'm doing it. I'm trying to keep up,
like
but
a twofer today, Pete.
I know.
The only other thing I liked that Lucille did share, and I do think it's important now, is really finding out what some of the benefits or perks that you can give to people that they really are looking for to try to differentiate yourself.
Correct. We don't want anybody to be bored in their job. Like when we hired the last receptionist through AIM, I kept telling the person who was training them, you can't have her keep doing that. She's going to be bored. You need to give her something else to do. You need to find out what she wants to do. What is she interested in? And we did, and things got better. And she seems a lot happier in her position. And again, as far as benefits go, we have great medical, we got great dental, we have a profit sharing. Even if you don't contribute to our 401k, you still get a 3% match. 10 paid holidays. We do our ice cream truck in the summer every week at 9:30. You can have ice cream in the morning. And it's a real Mr. Softy truck. It's real ice cream.
Right.
Oh,
real ice cream. And he even has pretzels and hot dogs. And the guys come to work at 6:30 in the morning. So they're eating pretzels and hot dogs at 9:30. And then, we have a, oh gosh, what's that game with we have those.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what is it?
Cornhole?
Cornhole.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have cornhole tournaments. Last year, and I think it'll happen this year too, we gave quarterly bonuses to everyone because we did really well.
But I think some of those different types of perks, like even, like the ice cream truck you mentioned, I think those are the things, when you tell people you have medical and dental
they don't
and holidays,
they're bored.
They're like, that's what
those
everybody else
stakes.
is saying.
Yeah.
They want to see all the other unique stuff that you're offering that somebody else
right.
is saying.
And we have, like every Friday, the office gets lunch on the company. And then like twice or 3 times a month, we'll do it for the guys out in the plant, but they'll go to, Coney Island and get the hot dogs, or they'll go to Wings Over Worcester and or big, huge party pizzas. So we try to keep them
This is
fed.
a question though, because I think this is an important lesson, right? We're in an era of benefits inflation, and it's, I think it's come down a lot since the early 2010s, but my sense is, again, once you satisfy the table stakes, right, you're taken care of on dental and vision and health. How much more do you need to give people a sense that you care and you're listening? And I think that, doing lunch once in a while and the Mr. Softy truck and like those things, they sound like maybe for companies that have, extraordinary cafeterias and massage services,
Right.
they sound sort of trivial. And yet
Yeah.
it also sounds like it really works for you.
It does work for us. Yes, it does. The guys love it. And, we'll give them gas cards at our Christmas party. We raffle off vacation days and sick days and guess how much cash is in the jar. We put a whole bunch of cash in a jar, just things like that. And,
See, those are things that matter to them.
Yeah,
Like,
it does matter to them. We're in Central Mass, we're not in all that stuff. Well, Terry, where we are.
I do, Lucille. I know
Yes.
exactly where you are. And
Yeah.
maybe more people will know where you are now that they're listening to all of these fun, exciting perks.
Yeah.
you're
Yes,
offering.
maybe we can get somebody's cousin.
anybody's
sister,
got
brother.
some good CAD experience, call Lucille.
Oh, we're dying here, please. Oh gosh, it's been going on for months. We need somebody with AutoCAD experience. That's all. Yeah.
All right. Lucille, you're a star. Thank you so
Oh,
much for
thank
hanging out with
you.
us. This was a treat. And I hope it's not the last time. I'm sure we could do this for another episode or two, just hearing your stories, but you've been really, really helpful. We're going to put the link to Package Deal in the show notes. Go learn about the company, particularly if you've got some AutoCAD experience or someone who does. Go check them out.
We have a beautiful website. You could build a building in 3 days.
Okay. That's fantastic.
You can even look at all of us. We're all on there.
We're on it. We're on it. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
both of you, for helping us, for learning a little bit about the realities of working in a busy HR manufacturing organization. We sure appreciate your time and attention, everybody, for downloading and listening to this show. You can find the show notes. Just swipe up in your show notes if you're listening to this in a podcast app. It's all right there, but you can also listen to the show at aimhrsolutions.com. We'd love you to head over there and learn more about what the resources that we offer through AIM HR Solutions that might just help your manufacturing organization too. On behalf of Terry Cook and Lucille Ward, I'm Pete Wright. We'll see you next week right here on Human Solutions, simplifying HR for people who love HR.